You hear the click before you register what it means, a small mechanical sound behind your head, close and deliberate, and you don't turn around because turning is a reaction, and reactions get measured. The room smells like stale smoke and varnished wood. A ceiling fan rotates unevenly, pushing warm air in slow circles. 3 men sit across from you, and one of them watches your hands instead of your face, while another hasn't blinked in several seconds. You keep your breathing controlled, not calm, just measured, because this is where everything narrows, and you understand there is no space left for error, and you weren't supposed to make it this far. You remember the entry point, the beginning where you were no one, processed in a windowless room held at 18 degrees C, cold enough to keep your senses sharp, where they reduced you to data points over 72 continuous hours, blood work, voice samples, psychological baselines, repeating the same 240 questions in different sequences until your answers stopped sounding human and started sounding consistent. No explanations were given, because explanations create attachment, and attachment creates hesitation. You were assigned a number before you were given a name, and the name came later, but it was never yours. Training wasn't about building you up. It was about removing what made you predictable. They stripped habits, rewired reflexes, taught you how to lie without visible strain, and how to recall fabricated memories with the same rhythm as truth. And after 11 weeks, they stopped correcting you, which is how you understood you had passed, not as a person, but as something usable, something transferable, an asset. And then came the ascent, which never felt like progress, but compression. Your first assignment lasted 19 days, rigid and controlled, every movement scheduled. 06, you moved. 1340, you observed. 2115, you reported. No deviation, no improvisation. But then the assignments extended without explanation. Timelines blurred into windows and orders into objectives. And you adapted, because adaptation is the only way to remain in circulation. By month 8, you were speaking directly to targets who didn't know they were targets, adjusting tone, posture, cadence, becoming a reflection of whoever you needed to be in that moment. And promotions came without acknowledgement. No words, no recognition, only shorter messages from your handler. Fewer instructions, more risk. And you stopped asking questions because questions signal uncertainty, and uncertainty is flagged. And that's when you began to see the system not as structure, but as pattern. Nothing fully written, everything implied. Thresholds that existed without documentation. 3 missed check-ins in 30 days, 2 conflicting reports in 72 hours, 1 exposure risk above 60%. After that, files closed quietly, permanently. And you learned these rules not by reading them, but by noticing who disappeared. Your handler's response time stretched from 90 seconds to 5 minutes to sometimes nothing at all. And you understood this wasn't failure, it was distance or preparation. So you began making decisions alone, small ones at first, then larger ones, altering meeting points, adjusting timelines, fabricating secondary layers to reinforce your cover, staying within the objective while reshaping everything around it. Creative compliance, the system's silent expectation. Money moved in the background, numbers appearing and disappearing, 50,000, 120,000, never yours but always tracked, because if something went wrong, there would be no one to confirm it. And slowly, without announcement, you began to erode. Your original name took longer to recall each time until it felt like something memorized rather than lived. Your voice shifted slightly, not enough for others, but enough for you to hear the difference in recordings. Mirrors became irrelevant, relationships dissolved without conflict, messages unanswered, calls shortened, explanations reduced to fragments. I'm working, I'll be back, I can't explain. And after 14 months, they stopped asking entirely. Isolation became efficient. Sleep broke into 90-minute segments, never deep, always alert. Every room mapped automatically, every exit calculated. Not paranoia, but calibration. And then the silence came. Your handler missed a check-in, then another. Protocol said wait 24 hours, but you waited 26, then initiated fallback. No response. The system didn't confirm failure, it simply removed support. And now you are here, in this room, with the gun behind you and the man in front of you asking a question that cuts too close, something only your handler should know. And in that moment, you process the only two possibilities. Either the system is compromised, or you are. And you calculate outcomes with precision. Maintain cover and accept escalation, or burn the identity and lose operational value. Neither leads to extraction, and that's when the realization settles in. Not sudden, not emotional, just exact. There was never a clean exit, and there won't be one now. So you choose and you act, and the moment passes. And what follows isn't dramatic, it's administrative. Somewhere, your file updates, status changes, active to inactive or something close to it. You are relocated, or you remain until the identity expires on its own. And time moves forward without acknowledgement. Because months later, someone else will sit in a room like this. Same temperature, same silence, same measured tension. They will hear the same click behind them, and the system will continue exactly as it was designed to. Because you were never central to it, never essential, just a function that held its place until it didn't. And now, without recognition, without closure, it continues.